The movie begins in the icy wilderness of Antarctica, where scientists have been striving for decades to uncover proof of extraterrestrial life. In 1982, a monumental breakthrough occurs when a Norwegian research team discovers something that could rewrite history. To investigate further, Dr. Sander Halvorson and his assistant, Adam Finch, enlist Kate Lloyd, a specialist in ancient life forms, to join their team at the Thule Research Station. Though given few details, Kate agrees to the mission, intrigued by the potential discovery. The next day, the team boards an H-3 Sea King helicopter and heads to the Antarctic Research Facility. Upon arrival, Kate is introduced to the crew, including Edvard Wolner, the lead scientist, and geologists Karl and Juliette. The group leads her to the excavation site, where they uncover an astonishing sight: the remains of an extraterrestrial spacecraft buried beneath the ice. Nearby, they find the frozen body of a creature that appears to have survived the crash over 100,000 years ago. The discovery is awe-inspiring and unnerving. Returning to the surface, the team debates their next steps. Kate discusses plans to transport the frozen creature with the Norwegian scientists and makes an effort to learn her colleagues' names, including Peder and Lars, who doesn't speak English and has a loyal sled dog. The following day, a few team members dig out the frozen specimen and bring it to the Thule Station for a closer examination. At the station, Dr. Sander insists on extracting a tissue sample from the creature encased in ice. Kate voices her concerns, arguing the risks of such an action, but Dr. Sander dismisses her objections and warns her not to challenge him in front of the team again. Using a drill, the team carefully extracts a small sample, penetrating the dense ice and lightly touching the creature's frozen body. That evening, the team gathers in the common room to unwind. Dr. Sander enters with an air of excitement, calling for everyone's attention. He announces that the creature's cell structure is unlike anything he's ever encountered, hinting at a groundbreaking discovery. The team celebrates the news, sharing drinks and lively conversation. The tension escalates as Derek, the co-pilot, decides to inspect the room where the mysterious creature is stored. While leaning in for a closer look, Peder startles him, prompting Derek to retreat nervously. Just as they prepare to leave, the creature suddenly breaks free from the ice block. Panicked, Derek sprints off to warn the rest of the team, but his alarm is initially dismissed. However, his obvious fear convinces the group to investigate. They rush to the room only to find the ice block shattered and the creature gone. Realizing the imminent danger, the team splits into smaller groups to search for the escaped entity. Outside, a chilling discovery is made. Lars's dog has been savagely attacked, presumably by the creature. Simultaneously, Olav and Henrik locate the entity hiding beneath one of the station's houses. As Henrik yells for help, the creature strikes, impaling him with a tentacle and absorbing him into its body, spraying Olav with blood in the process. Hearing Olav's desperate cries, the rest of the team converges on the site. Armed with guns, they attempt to subdue the creature, but its resilience forces them to set the house on fire, ultimately incinerating it. Shaken but determined to continue their work, the team examines the charred remains of the creature. Kate and Adam's analysis reveals a horrifying truth. The entity's cells can absorb and mimic other living organisms. The atmosphere becomes increasingly tense. Kate leaves the lab and encounters Carter, Derek, and Griggs in the corridor, preparing to transport Olav, who is in a state of shock, to a healthcare facility via helicopter. The men seem rattled but focused on their mission. As they prepare for departure, Kate stumbles upon discarded metal dental fillings and a trail of blood in the shower. She quickly deduces that the creature might have infected or copied someone on the helicopter. Rushing outside, Kate desperately signals for the helicopter to stop. Just as Carter decides to land, Griggs transforms, revealing himself as the entity and attacking Olav. Chaos erupts, and the helicopter spirals out of control, crashing into the mountains in a fiery explosion. After the helicopter crash likely claims the lives of all on board, the remaining team at the base scrambles to call for help using the emergency radio channel. However, they are met with dead silence. The radio is malfunctioning. With a storm fast approaching, the isolation deepens, amplifying the tension within the group. The situation worsens when Kate discovers the blood and evidence in the shower has been cleaned. When Edvard suggests sending a group to the nearest base for help, Kate firmly opposes, warning that the entity's ability to mimic anyone makes leaving the base too dangerous. To back her claims, she presents what she and Adam uncovered. The creature can replicate living beings, but cannot duplicate non-living materials, such as the discarded metal filling she found. Kate's warning is met with skepticism, and Edvard dismisses her concerns, instructing the team to proceed as planned. However, Juliette quietly approaches Kate after the meeting, revealing that she believes her. Juliette confesses to seeing Colin leaving the shower earlier and guides Kate to the room where the snowcat keys are kept, hoping to prevent others from leaving. As Kate retrieves the keys, Juliette suddenly transforms into the entity and attacks her. Kate barely escapes, running into Karl in the corridor, but he reacts too slowly. The creature leaps onto Karl, killing him. Kate is powerless to stop it until Lars arrives with a flamethrower, incinerating the entity in a fiery blaze. The team gathers outside to burn the remains, still unsure of who among them might be compromised. Realizing the gravity of their predicament, the group agrees to isolate themselves and contain the threat. Dr. Sander and Adam propose collecting blood samples to test for contamination, while Kate and Lars immobilize all the vehicles to prevent escape. During their task, Lars reveals a stash of grenades as a backup plan. As Kate and Lars finish, Carter and Derek, the presumed survivors of the helicopter crash, stagger back to the base. Their return sparks immediate suspicion, with some team members calling for their immediate incineration. Kate intervenes, convincing the group to isolate Carter and Derek until they can be tested. Back in the lab, Dr. Sander and Adam prepare for the blood tests but leave briefly. Moments later, a fire breaks out in the lab, destroying the samples and deepening the group's paranoia. Accusations fly as tension boils over. To calm the chaos, Kate proposes a simpler solution: a dental check. Since the creature cannot replicate non-living materials, anyone missing dental fillings could be an imposter. She demonstrates her own fillings first to build trust and proceeds to examine the rest of the team. The process identifies Adam, Dr. Sander, Edvard, and Colin as potential threats. To ensure fairness, Kate insists on checking Carter and Derek, who are isolated in a storage shed. She sends Lars and Jonas to bring them back. When Lars and Jonas arrive, they find a hole in the floor of the shed, suggesting that Carter and Derek have moved to another building. Lars attempts to track them down, but is ambushed and dragged into the hole by an unseen force. Jonas escapes back to the main group and pleads with Peder for help, but Kate insists that Peder remain on guard over the suspected infected. As tension builds, Carter and Derek storm into the building, armed with Lars's gun and flamethrower, accusing the group of murdering Lars. In the chaos, Edvard orders Peder to burn Carter and Derek immediately. Torn between loyalty and fear, Peder hesitates but eventually points the flamethrower at the two. Before he can act, Derek shoots Peder, piercing his fuel tank and causing an explosion that knocks Edvard unconscious. While being transported to the recreation room, Edvard regains consciousness and horrifyingly transforms into the Thing. Unaware of the imminent danger, Jonas approaches Edvard, only to be infected by the creature's grotesquely mutated arm. Chaos erupts as the group tries to contain the monster. In the confusion, Dr. Sander and Colin flee, abandoning their comrades. The flamethrower in Carter's possession malfunctions at the worst moment, allowing the Thing to attack Derek and absorb Adam's body before escaping. With the team splintered and tensions at a breaking point, Kate rallies Carter to track down the Thing, which now bears the horrifyingly fused faces of Edvard and Adam. The pursuit leads them to Dr. Sander, who is attacked and killed by the creature. During the encounter, the Thing separates Kate and Carter, trapping Carter in the kitchen. Just as the monster is about to infect Carter, Kate arrives in the nick of time. Summoning her courage, she ignites the creature with the flamethrower, setting it ablaze and saving Carter from certain death. After incinerating the remains of the Thing, Kate and Carter spot Dr. Sander fleeing in a snowcat. A brief argument ensues about whether to pursue him, but Kate insists they must stop him to prevent further chaos. Before leaving, Kate grabs the grenades and other supplies. The duo tracks the snowcat to the site of the alien spacecraft, where they witness the ship rebooting and preparing for liftoff. Sprinting to avoid the massive moving parts of the ship, Kate becomes separated from Carter when she stumbles into the vessel. Inside, she cautiously searches for the Thing and eventually encounters it. Unable to confront the creature head-on, Kate escapes into a tight space it cannot reach. Meanwhile, Carter finds Kate just as the Thing prepares to attack her. He drags her out of her hiding spot, but Kate manages to throw a grenade into the creature's mouth. The explosion destroys the Thing, and the two narrowly escape the blast, retreating to the snowcat. Back at the vehicle, Kate grows suspicious of Carter. She recalls noticing his earring on the wrong ear after he returned to the base from the helicopter crash. Confronting him, she challenges his identity. Carter touches his right ear instead of his left, inadvertently confirming her suspicions. Without hesitation, Kate incinerates him, his inhuman screams revealing the truth. Determined to ensure the Thing doesn't spread further, Kate climbs into another snowcat and disappears into the icy wilderness, her fate left unknown. Epilogue. The next morning, a Norwegian helicopter pilot named Matthias arrives at the destroyed camp. Surveying the devastation, he calls out for survivors. Among the wreckage, he finds the remains of the two-faced Thing and evidence of the chaos that unfolded. Elsewhere, Colin, the radio operator, is revealed to have committed suicide by slitting his throat and wrist to prevent the thing from infecting him. Unexpectedly, Lars, who was last seen being attacked, emerges unharmed from the building, armed and wary. Confronting Matthias, Lars insists on checking his dental fillings, doubting his identity. Suddenly, Lars spots his dog, the same one he cared for earlier, darting from the wreckage. Realizing it has been infected, he fires at it, but misses. Matthias quickly pilots the helicopter, and Lars continues to shoot as they pursue the fleeing creature. The movie ends here.